Hi, my name is Luann, and I am a Brazilian American citizen, and I am here to answer some questions that Brazilians have about American or like U.S. in general. So, this is my first video, and I wanted to start off with something that's about me and like to who I am, because I was born in Brazil and I was raised there until I was 4 years old. And at the age of 4, I moved here to the U.S., but I moved to Connecticut, and now I'm in Florida, which it was 5 years from Connecticut to Florida. I spent 5 years in Connecticut, then I moved down here to Florida, and I've been here for 5 years. That's what I mean. Okay, so let's start. My first question that I got was, is there projects that are beneficial to American students, projects/programs? And there are, mostly in schools. There's a variation of programs and projects you can do. It depends on what you like. Most schools have arts programs, which include band, art. Some schools have pottery. It depends also on the grade level you're in, which here we have high school, high school is like the biggest one. Well, actually above it there's college, but there's college, then high school, and there's middle school, elementary school, and pre-K. Well, some people have pre-K in their elementary school. It's kind of different, and some people don't take pre-K, but it's just some things that people could choose to do, which just another level of education. So there are many programs. It just depends on what you like to do, and you can always talk to a guidance counselor if you are thinking about joining something new and just trying out something new that you like. Okay, next question. Are the hospitals good? Yes, from what I've experienced in hospitals, well, I wasn't feeling my best, but from what I've known, hospitals are pretty good, but it's different than Brazil. From what I think, in Brazil, if you go in there for like a checkup or something, or just you're not feeling well, your insurance pays for it, but it's not like that in the U.S. Like, you have to pay for it yourself unless your insurance doesn't cover it. In Brazil, I think insurance covers everything. It doesn't matter what hospital it is. It doesn't matter if they take your insurance. Next question. Are the prices in the U.S. and Brazil the same? They are not the same, but if you translate it, they'd be equal values for most things. Like, something in Brazil could be worth, well, Brazil's currency is reais, which is R-E-A-I-S, reais, and the currency in the U.S. is dollars, dollars, and so it's like, if you translate the dollars into reais, you'll get more reais because their currency is less. But if you translate reais into dollars, you're going to get less because their currency isn't as valuable. So if there's something here that's like $8, let's say a Nutella, $8. There it's going to be like 40 reais. So it's not necessarily more expensive or cheaper. It's just, it depends on the way you look at it because their currencies are valued differently. Next question. How is the government organized in terms of citizens? I think that their main priority, one of their main priorities are citizens, and like how people view the government. And so they are very organized. So they just, I also don't have a lot of room to say about government because I haven't really experienced many things involved in the government, like voting and other things like that, because I'm not of age yet. So from what I've known, the government is pretty organized. That's my answer. Next question. What does the government do for health and education? Again, I'm not very familiar with the government, but from what I've learned, the government is very good in health. They put a lot of money into their hospitals and education too, but the education system doesn't get as much value as health or military, because it is crucial, but it's not as crucial as some of those other things, you know? But they do put a lot of money into that too. And I'd say the education system is pretty good, but it varies depending on the state. Like up in Connecticut, the education was way better. They have a bit better education system, but also the place I used to live at was more enclosed and there was less people. Now there is more people in Florida. It's a bigger populated area, and it's just overall more people, so there's just a bigger range of people to fit into schools, you know? So, number 7, next question. Are the U.S. prices really high? Again, going back to the prices, if they're the same, if you look at it that way, from Brazilian currency, yes, if you translate dollars into Brazilian currency, yes, it's pretty expensive, but I think that's just everywhere in general. Everywhere is getting pretty pricey. But prices are kind of high. But so are in Brazil, so it's kind of the same. Next question. Do I think that the U.S. has more benefits than Brazil? So, since I moved here when I was 4 years old, I barely got an experience in Brazil for education in general. So, I think in education, the U.S. would have more benefits, because from what I've heard, they have more programs and everything. But one of the things that I don't really like about the U.S. education system is their food at school. They have, most of the times you get to pick, you either have juice or milk, and then they're served to you on a little foam tray, and you get to pick which one you want, and then you get whatever they're serving that day. Sometimes it's chicken, sometimes it's pizza, and there's also some frozen options you could get, like Uncrustables and those kind of things. But in Brazil, I've heard that they have like those traditional meals, which is like arroz, feijão, which is rice, beans. They have meat. They also have like vegetables and stuff, which I think is pretty healthy compared to the US. So I think there's different benefits to each country, but in total, in the educational system, I think the US has more benefits, but I think overall, you can't really weigh it and just, well, the question wasn't just education, but I think it's mostly education that they're asking in the question. But I think the US has overall more benefits. Number 9. How was the culture adaptation when I moved here? Again, I was really little, so I don't really remember much of it, but I do remember that my parents, so we wouldn't forget the Portuguese that we know, because I am fluent in Portuguese too. So we wouldn't forget the Portuguese we already know. They were like, you guys speak English in school and you speak Portuguese at home. So we never really lost our Portuguese. We still can speak fluently. We also know how to, my siblings and I have a twin sister and an older brother too. But we never really lost our Portuguese. We actually gained it from speaking to our family members. We also have a lot of like the culture from Brazil from our family members too. But I'd say it was pretty easy the cultural adaptation because we were little. If we were older, it would have been harder to learn English. But since we were little, we just kind of learned it with the Portuguese. Next question. Which is more welcoming, the U.S. or Brazil? I think that the U.S. is welcoming in its own ways. It's kind of, it's different than the welcoming in Brazil. Brazil, everybody's more outgoing. Everybody's just, it's a different kind of feeling. It's like, you kind of just talk to everybody. Everybody's your friend. In the US, people are more reserved and isolated to themselves. In Brazil, you meet somebody for 5 minutes and they're already your friend. That's what I like about Brazil. So I think more welcoming is definitely Brazil. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed these, my answers to the questions. And if you would like another video, part 2, I could do more for you. So bye, have a good day or night.